Hey Fitheads, today we talk with Kenny Santucci, a trainer from New York who was training while he was on the podcast with us, like handheld iPhone,
Yeah, that's
making
awesome.
people more fit while
You'd be like,
giving us
so
fitness
so
advice.
this is something really important. And also, hey, we're gonna go up to 40s on that. And anyway, back to plyometrics. It was awesome.
It was super cool. Yeah, he's a really interesting dude, super passionate, had his own fitness transformation. It's really cool to hear that.
Yeah, it was fun. And it's also I think it's always personally, I think it's always really fun to hear from a guy or a girl or someone who's done a bunch of different disciplines.
Yeah.
A serious college athlete. I like distance running. I like CrossFit. I like straight bodybuilding. I like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then to see what sort of boils to the top, or like what rises to the top out of that. I think that's always really fun for me, and that's something that, I mean, he's done it all. Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Hi, Kenny. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Coming in hot from New York on your birthday. I just need to drop that for everyone. Ridiculous.
Yes. 38.
How's that feeling? Get a sarcopenia kicking in, or do you keep that muscles from wasting?
You know, everything just takes twice as much work. You know? I remember leaving high school wrestling matches or college wrestling matches, and me and my buddies would go grab hot dogs and cheeseburgers and eat like afterwards, and I'm like, I just can't do that anymore. It just doesn't feel as good. So can't spend.
It's tough. I feel like I get a McDonald's hangover now. That's one of my worst hangovers for sure.
You know, I mean, you guys have Shake Shack out there. Like, I'll eat Shake Shack. I'll have one burger when I used to have like 3. I'd have one and just feel like dog afterwards.
Real.
Yeah, it does feel like food is almost worse than alcohol, or mixing the two. Like, I can either drink and eat okay, or eat like crap but not drink. But if you eat like crap and drink, oh, that's just like, that'll ruin my week.
Yeah, and as the years go on, it just gets harder and harder.
I don't know. I feel like it's also you're out of practice. Like, if you just kept up with the burger eating, you would be fine. You could handle it.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to see what I'd look like at that point, but yeah, for sure.
All right, so give us a little background on your fitness journey. Like, how did you get started?
Well, I got started at a very young age. You know, I was very unhappy with myself at 11, 12, 13 years old. I remember going to the doctor, but my parents would take me, my 2 brothers, and my sister to the doctor. We'd all get a checkup, and I just kept getting fatter and fatter. And my doctor would tell my mom, like, hey, you got to put this kid on a diet. There's something wrong here. Like, I remember from like 5th to 6th grade, I gained like 25 pounds. The doctor's like, this isn't good. This isn't healthy. He's heavy. And I remember going into high school weighing 200, maybe close to 230 pounds. But like, while I was a kid, the whole time, you know, and I think you're so vulnerable at that age that it just really affects you a lot more. Like, I remember being in like 5th, 6th grade, and you know, when you get those little baseball cards or like little basketball cards, and they put your picture on it and your weight and height in the back and stuff. I remember lying about my weight, taking like 20 pounds off. I was like 125 pounds, and everybody else was like 70. And yeah, so it would definitely affect me. Like, my uniform didn't fit me the same way everybody else's did. So it was something I was always conscious of. I just didn't know what the hell was going on. So I promised myself when I got to high school, I would start working out. I knew there was a gym in my high school. I started playing sports. And then as the years went on, I just tweaked it more and more and more. And then by the time I got out of college, I just felt like I loved doing it. I loved experimenting. I loved learning about it. And it wasn't as information wasn't as readily available as it is today. There was no Instagram. There was no social media. So everything I did, I had to research or learn about or read about, you know, and a lot of my information I got from muscle magazines. And predominantly at that time, you're talking 1997, 98, 99, you know, there was basically muscle and fitness, you know, muscle development, men's health wasn't even like the top. Like, I feel like right now, you know, men's health is like the premium for men's magazines, but at the time it was a lot of like the meathead magazines. and everything was bodybuilding, right? It was like Arnold's arm workout, Triple H's leg workout. And then that's what I would do. I'd take these magazines to the gym and I would try them out. And I remember getting like halfway through them and being like, I don't know how these guys finish this workout. And everybody I ever admired as a kid, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, all these guys, I'm like, man, they look great. I must be doing something wrong in the gym. I need to read more. I need to learn more. And then by the time I was like 19, 20, I'm like, oh, okay, these guys were all on steroids.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It wasn't bananas. They weren't having protein shakes.
Yeah. Well, you know what I tell people all the time? There was a point I remember reading one of these muscle magazines, and they'd always talk about how soda and cake was so bad for you. And this was like a staple at my house, right? We always had soda and cake, right? I remember eating a whole Entenmann's pound cake by myself. And it was,
Wow. Cheat
So-
day.
yeah, or cheat every.
Cheat
So
breakfast.
like I watch like my 600-pound life right now, and I'm like, I understand how these people get to that size. Like I would be like that. There would be no holds barred when it came to food. If I wanted to eat it, I would eat it. And it took a lot of self-discipline, and it took a lot for me to understand, like, all right, these things serve me no purpose. They serve no value in my life. If I want to look better and feel better, I can't continue to eat this stuff. So fast forward a couple of years, I wanted to do something else. I was working for a shipping company in New Jersey, and I just hated my day-to-day. I realized that life wasn't just the weekends, right? I wanted to enjoy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I saw that people were enjoying their lives doing other things. And I didn't want a regular job. And I said to myself, where am I? Where would I be if I wasn't working? No matter what job I had, whether I was working at television, whether I was working at a shipping company, I said I love the gym. So I'd say about 13 years ago, I took the plunge and I quit everything that I was doing and started working in the gym. And, I've never really looked back since. And I love it. I enjoy it. There's never a day where I get up and I'm like, oh God, I gotta go to the gym today. Like I look forward to it. Even the days I don't have to come to the gym, I come to the gym.
Like your birthday?
Yeah, even my birthday. So, especially on my birthday.
Yeah, in your bio, you have this highlight that you say like the gym is my church,
Yeah.
which is so interesting to me because I've read how like the church is not so prominent in lives anymore, but we still need community. Like as humans, we still want to go somewhere and be around people and have like transcendent experiences, and that's missing. But you've clearly replaced it with the gym.
Yeah, I grew up like very Catholic Italian. Like my whole family still goes to church every Sunday. But for me, it's like my house of worship is the house of steel. And it's like we all have the same mentality. We all have the same respect for the iron, respect for each other, because we're all here grinding out, doing the same thing. We all want the same thing, and a lot of us have a lot of the same insecurities and stuff. So it doesn't matter who your God is, right? Every message is the same. It's like, take care of the people around you, treat others the way you want to be treated. Like when you're in the gym, it's an unwritten rule and it's an unwritten law that like, hey, you take your shit out, you put it back. Somebody's waiting for the equipment, you get out of their way. Like there are certain things that go on in gyms that we kind of just take for granted. It's the same level of respect that people should have for each other outside the gym, which sometimes they don't. But there are so many people you see throw things on the ground, but somebody's got to pick that up, right? And we don't do it in the gym, but people do it outside the gym. So I think it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter what God you worship. We all are human. We all need something to believe in, and we're all just choosing whichever God we want, but we're all saying the same thing.
Do you refuse to step over the barbell?
No, I do.
You do, yeah. Because have you heard of this? I learned about it recently. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very kind of European or
powerlifting kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel like powerlifters like say like respect the barbell, don't step over it or something. I mean, CrossFitters are like, you should do a burpee over the barbell, so respect.
Backflip.
I think I did so much CrossFit that it doesn't matter. But at the same time, if somebody else is working out, I don't step in their area. Because I don't want somebody to do it to me. I think there's, like I said, there's a level of respect in the gym that a lot of people have that, you know, you don't even realize you're abiding by these rules.
Well, you talked about like changing your eating as a kid. Like, what are you doing now, nutrition wise? Like, did you just stick to that clean level, or yeah, what's your strategy?
No, you know, I've always, you know, loosely dabbled in it. I never went full bodybuilder. I always lifted like a bodybuilder all through high school and college. Obviously, I did sports training and stuff as well. But when it came to kind of my own workouts, I just enjoyed doing bodybuilding work. Then I did a ton of CrossFit. Obviously, I was in the CrossFit world for the past 10 years. Did a ton of competitions. I love doing that stuff. You know, I have multiple certifications when it comes to weightlifting and endurance training and things like that. I've done Ironmans and marathons and triathlons. I've done all that stuff. So I always worked out a lot so I could eat what I wanted. And I was never in great shape, like the shape I always wanted to be in. But in the last 30 days, I started a challenge because I was like, you know what, I'm going to be 38 this year. I really want to clean everything up. So I started this 30-day challenge with 25 of my clients. You know, I offered it up to anybody who wanted to do it. Some people were new. Some people are people I've had for a couple of years now. And we did this 30-day challenge. It was kind of a cleanse. It's no alcohol, no sweets. Yeah, it was crazy. So I have 6 days left of it. And it's the longest I've gone without drinking out as an adult, like drinking out without drinking alcohol, without eating any sweets or anything like that. So I cut a lot of that out and I feel so good right now. You know, I sleep better. And I feel like I look a little bit better. So I'm enjoying that.
What was the hardest to cut out?
You know what it was? It's just having the right group of, I think it was just having the right group of people around you. I think probably alcohol though. You know, there's a couple nights I'm sitting at home and I'm like, I love a glass of scotch, but I don't need it, right? Like there's so many things, you know how many people were like, I would have loved to have done the challenge, but I can't do it, right? So as soon as you tell yourself you can, you're not going to do it. But I was one of those people too. For years, I always said, I go, I can't do this, I can't do that. But for me, it was just having the right support group around you. So, you know, 5 of my closest clients that I hang out with, that I see almost every day, every time we would go out to eat after a class or after we worked out, we're just like, okay, we're not going to do this. I hired this meal company. So I work with Daily Dose Market, which is one of the best meal companies, if not the best meal company I've ever worked with. The food is all fresh. It's it's all shipped nationally. The food is unbelievable. And I use Belcampo, which is a meat company out of California. They're unbelievable. They own the slaughterhouses, the restaurants, the farms, everything. So the meat is super clean. It's delicious. So I've been just eating that stuff and I just feel so much better. I started prioritizing protein more. So it's everything I eat my protein first and then I'll have carbs and fats afterwards. And it's been working. I just feel great. But yeah, the temptation of drinking alcohol has probably been the hardest. You know, everybody wants like, oh, let's go get a drink. And I'm like, I can't. I hate being that guy, but I can't.
So is it just a 30-day thing for you, or what happens after?
No, I think I'm going to stick to, I'm going to try to do at least 20 rule, you know, drink one meal a week, probably on like Friday night or Saturday night, and try to the rest of the time, because that's our biggest mind, right? Like most of us drink too much. You know, we don't realize it. I set myself up an allowance 2 weeks before I started the 30-day challenge. And I'm like, all right, I'm only going to have 10 drinks this month. And everyone's like, 10 drinks is a lot. And then you start drinking, and you're like, 10 drinks isn't
10
that
drinks,
much.
not 10 times drinking.
Yes, exactly. Right? When you really break it down, you're like, well, I had 4, and then the next night I have 4, and now I'm up to 8, and now I only have 2 drinks left. This is bullshit.
Who set this up?
Yeah.
I got it better though. If you're counting drinks, I'll just, get twice as drunk as you, size wise. I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, unfortunately, I need like 3 or 4 glasses of tequila just to get me a little buzzed.
I could watch you drink 3 or 4 and then get buzzed.
And the crazy thing is, I had a bunch of clients this morning, and everybody brought me bottles of tequila. So I got all this great tequila, and I'm like, ah, shit.
Man,
Seems like you've done a lot of different stuff. Like you're saying, Ironman's, CrossFit, bodybuilding, college,
running.
running, distance running,
Yeah.
which is also insane. What are your sort of favorite pillars? Do you have any like anything that really sticks with you? So, like for example, like when you haven't done a CrossFit workout and then you do your first one, you're like, oh wow, I can lift pretty heavy, pretty fast, or you know what I mean? I can just floor it for as long as I can, or like bodybuilding is like, I'm just gonna shred shoulders today, and like that really wouldn't make sense to someone who hasn't done that. Do you have any pillars that really sort of stick through you through different things that you're like, I love this, I can't stop ever squatting heavy, or I can't stop, working out until I'm gonna puke, like a wrestling practice, or you know what I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple different things that I really enjoy. Like I love running. There's whether it was in a CrossFit workout or a long distance, for me to get outside and just start going was always easy. It was always one of the things that I enjoyed the most that no one ever had to tell me to do. And I think like any upper body, like bodybuilding workouts, I love a good pump session, like an upper body pump session. And then like I hate the craze of kettlebells now. Like everybody's a kettlebell expert, but I started doing kettlebell work pretty early on, and I just fell in love with it. Now I'm not into dancing with kettlebells and stuff, but like hard style kettlebell stuff, I've always loved. Like swings are a pillar for me for sure. Like doing kettlebell swings are a must. Like I'll put them in my programming 2 to 3 times a week. Just getting anywhere from 4 to 10 sets of kettlebell swings, and whether heavy, light, double. I love a good kettlebell swing. I think it's great. I think it's a great way to build strength, power, speed. So if I'm doing something, if you ask me 3 movements that I could do forever, it would be a kettlebell swing, push-ups, and running.
All right, solid. You'll be nice and lean with a giant chest.
The big thing for me with kettlebell swings was when I sort of equated it like a hinge. Like I never thought of that movement called like, a push and a pull. That stuff makes sense to you. You can sort of build a workout around that. But once I started thinking of a kettlebell swing as a hinge, like just I guess hips going forward, then suddenly it was like, oh, that's kind of deadlifty, and that's kind of cleany, and that's kind of
wall balls, box jumps, everything in CrossFit is hinge.
Yeah. It was, and I think that's why like you see so many people who are so quad dominant. Everything's like sagittal plane, just dropping low or swinging something heavy, pulling from the ground. It's all very the same thing. I've been doing a lot of sports training, a lot of broad jumps, a lot of box jumps, like single legs work, a lot of lateral movement. I've been doing a lot of that lately, plyometric stuff. As I've gotten older, you obviously get a little bit slower, so you want to hold on to some of that fast twitch muscle fiber as long as you can. So doing any type of plyometric work helps a lot.
Yeah, is that something that you worry about? I mean, just like keeping muscle, honestly. I joked about sarcopenia, but like I think about that, or it's just like the longer I can hang on to muscle into age, like the better like health span, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hold on, I actually got to get out there and check on 2 clients. But yeah, no, for me, I think doing anything that I could continue to hold on to muscle, I do. Jumps and squats and things like that. Like there's so many people who are a lot older who are like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. I say try low level plyometrics. Trying low level plyometrics is a must in my program for sure.
Yeah, I never think about it as fast twitch versus slow. Do you have like a strategy around that?
Yeah, so like with a lot of my clients, I mean, whether they're older or younger, I start them with low level plyometrics. It's like stepping up to a box or like, hops onto a box. Anything that's going to mimic running or something that they need to do on a daily basis, I try to put that into their program depending on what age they're at. you know, you get somebody younger and they want to move. Like I have, my youngest client is 17 and my oldest client is 66, 67.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have them all do something similar. I just have scaled versions of each one for them. So I try to get them to do similar programming, but like make it for them. You know, make it work for the individual. Like, you know, some of my clients set rows up to 15 on, 45 off. Yeah.
Love it.
We're getting a live session here.
Yeah, get everybody going. Yeah, and then like sprinting, right? Like how much can we get everybody's heart rate to race? You know, and that's something we lose too, right? Those are pillars of what I do with my clients now, right? Like I want to strength train with them. I want them to do some level of plyometrics, depending on where they're at, and then I want them to get their heart rates up. You know, jack your heart rate up as high as you can, and then drop it back down. And then I want it to be like I always say. This is what I told when I was running my old gym, when I had my gym in Jersey. You know, we have two jobs as trainers, coaches, whatever you want to call yourself. One is to keep people safe, so make sure they're moving well, make sure they're on a program that makes sense for them. And two, keep them happy, get them results, make them feel good, make them want to come back, make sure they feel accepted in the room. You know, that's a huge part of fitness is like, do I feel comfortable in the gym that I'm, right? You could have the best gym in the world, but if no one feels comfortable walking in there, then you don't have the best gym, right? So it has to make sense for the people coming there. They have to feel good. They have to get results. So those are all the things that I take into consideration. You know, and I think it comes with time. You know, there's so many people who are like, this one's the best trainer, or that person's the best, or this one's the best. They might be a great online coach and come up with some good programming, but like, how good are they in person? To me, I think somebody who's a great trainer, a great coach, has years of experience under the belt, has tried multiple programs, has successfully taken people through, you know, change. You know, yes, it's definitely hard to get people to buy into whatever you're doing. But if you've never done that before in person and online, then how could you say you're the best?
Yeah. How much of it do you feel like you're more of a like therapist than a trainer?
Oh God, I mean a ton. You know, I'd say most of my clients, you know, if I had to put them to the test and be like, hey, could you take yourself through a session that I put you through? I'd say 8 out of 10 of them could do it. They just want to hang out. They just need somebody to keep them accountable. It's like anything else, right? Like, does anybody really need a dietitian or a nutritionist to tell them, hey, eating this cupcake, one of these a day is going to be pretty bad, right?
Probably won't.
Like, it's all
props,
common.
huh?
It's all common sense, right? My mom's probably my oldest client. Right? My mom's 7 years old, or she'll be 70 in like 3 weeks, and I've been training her forever. And when I put her on this 30-day program, day one I call her and I go, Mom, so what you have for breakfast? Well, I had oatmeal. And then I had some peanut butter in the oatmeal, and then I had a salad. I go, Mom, the first thing I put on your paperwork is prioritize protein. Tell me where the protein is in any of that stuff. She's like, well, there's a little bit in the peanut butter. I go, and where's the rest of it? We're supposed to have 30 grams of protein. Where's the rest of it? And she's like, all right, well, I'll try again tomorrow. I'm like, but you know the answer. You know you didn't do it right. So people just need somebody on their ass, somebody to keep them accountable, and somebody to push them into doing whatever, you know, they think they want to do.
So who keeps you accountable?
My clients. I think like I hate what's going on in the world right now because everybody's a hypocrite. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves is like people who are like telling you, oh, you should diet, you should do this, you should do that, and they're not doing it themselves. So for me, it's like I can't tell all of them, hey, do this, 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 and this. Don't drink alcohol. Don't eat sugar. Make sure you come work out. Get a workout in every day. And I'm not doing the same thing. So I can't look them in the face and be like, oh, did you do your 40 push-ups today? And I'm like, yeah. Did you do your run today? Yes, I did. You know, I'll see them throughout the day. I have clients in the morning, I have clients in the afternoon, I have clients at night. So eventually somebody's going to call me out on my shit, or I'll just do it with them, you know? So for me, it's them, and it's myself. Like I don't want to let myself down, right? I admire the people that I admire the most are the people who I see, who are twice my age, guys who are 50. I was just telling a buddy of mine, he's going to be 48 in June. And there's another guy that we both know. And I was like, dude, this guy's 62 years old. He's got abs. He's in great shape. He's a trainer here in New York. And I'm like, I look at that guy and I'm like, I want to be him. Like, I want to be him. I want to be in great shape, feel really good, look really good, well into my 60s, 70s. You know, there's so many, like you look at Arnold. Did you see that video? I think it was from like last year, 2 years ago. He was at like an Arnold Classic or something. Some kid ran up behind him and tried to drop kick him.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
He didn't even
and
move.
The kid
He was
bounced
just like,
off him. Yeah. And I was like, that man's 74 years old. And he just, a 17-year-old just bounced off him. Like, I want to be that guy, you know? So, it's super important to me to be healthy and to live the bullshit that I talk. You know? So.
Well, it sounds like you had your own accountability from the beginning, right? It wasn't like you didn't tell the story like, well, my doctor made me X. You were like, no,
Yeah.
I did it myself for myself.
Yeah, I did it for myself. I felt, and this is my big thing with the whole body positivity thing, right? You know, I don't have the physique I want. Obviously, like, I wish I was one of these guys who woke up in the morning and just looked great. I had great shoulders, huge legs, but I'm not. But I love my body, right? I'm happy and I'm content with what I have, and I want to continue to work on it. I want to continue to get better in whatever age I'm at, 38, 48, 70, whatever. I want to be comfortable in my own skin, but continue to work on what I have. Whereas I don't see, I was unhealthy, right? I had rashes on my legs. I had terrible skin. I was 50, 60 pounds overweight. So if somebody's 50 or 60 pounds overweight, there comes a health risk with that. And the older you get, the worse it gets. And at the same time, now we have this new virus that 78% of the victims of this were obese, overweight, had comorbidities, had other issues that kind of revolve in and around not being healthy. So for me, it's super important to not only look good, but to feel good, right? Because I want to be able to know that, like, all right, if something happens to me, I can survive, or at least I have a fighting chance of surviving. So I tell everybody, like, hey, you're not going to look like Cindy Crawford circa 92, but you'll look good. You'll feel better. You'll look better. I'm not saying you like. I'm huge on people not comparing themselves to other people. Like, for me, doing CrossFit, pretty much the last 10 years of my life, 12 years of my life, I got into the gym, and like a good back squat for me was like 235, 245. And then there were guys I was training who'd walk in and squat 400 pounds. I spent 2 years working on my back squat. The heaviest back squat I've ever hit was 355, right? And that was 2 years of starting strength. Yeah, but at the same time, I know guys who back squat 500 pounds and they're not even trying, right? So for me, I can't hate myself. I can't be like, oh my God, I got to take steroids. I got to do all this shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, okay, I'm content with what I have. You know, I'll continue to work on what I have. This guy is clearly a freak. You know, that's abnormal to squat that.
Not to compare ourselves.
Yeah. But for me to like constantly compare myself to this guy, I'd blow my brains out, right? You know, and that's what I tell people, like, hey, I know what it's like to be uncomfortable. I know what it's like to fix your shirt and to like cover up your belly. I know what it's like to not want to take your shirt off when you're at a pool party. I know what that feels like, and I don't want other people to feel like that. And that's why I preach and do what I do. And my dad was a Marine, a cop. You know, he was, tough love the whole way through. And that's kind of the way I coach. It's like, hey, I want to help you. I'll take you by the hand. I'll walk you through all this. But I need you to want it just as bad as I want it for you. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And when people are like, I'm content being big, or I'm like, you can't be. You're here for a reason. You want me to help you. Let me help you. You know, stop bullshitting yourself and saying, hey, I feel good, you'll feel, when you feel good, right? You finish a workout. No one's ever completed a workout and be like, I really shouldn't have done that.
I don't know. Did you
that,
do
right?
the open this year?
No, but I've done plenty of opens in the past, and there's a couple of times where my legs hurt and my lungs are burning, but I'm like, okay, that felt pretty good. Or I regret that I didn't move faster. Right? There are so many workouts. I'm like, I could have done it faster. Right? That's the only regret I have. There was one a couple of years ago. It was like the muscle up one. I think I missed it by one muscle up, and I'm like, if I could have went a little faster. So for me, that's the only regret I have. But yeah, no, like I love watching. The best part of my day, and I'm lucky enough to do it every day in my life, is that I watch people get better. I've taken people from, uncomfortable the way I was when I was a kid to really being confident, the way they dress, the way they walk in the room, the way they talk to people, the way they are at work. You start to see this change, and it's unbelievable. And it's so rewarding to me. Like I don't know what else I would do that would be more rewarding.
Pretty awesome. What's one of your like craziest transformation stories?
From a client?
Yeah.
There's a guy I train now. I've been training him for over 4 years, about 4 years now. And he came in, guy's never worked out a day in his life. Typical of what I'd call an office body, right? Like skinny little shoulders, no upper body strength whatsoever. And he had this like little beer belly. He was almost built like a peach or a pear. And now it's like he's putting up numbers, right? Like I lift with him pretty much every other day. Like we'll lift together, and he's right there with me. I'm like, and he's half my size. I probably weigh about 200 pounds. He's probably 160, but he's short, and he's putting up great numbers, and he looks so good. And he's one of these people. Like I look at him, the way he dresses, the clothes he wears, the people he surrounds himself with. Like I've just seen him grow over the last 4 years, and it's so rewarding to me. He went from, 180 pounds out of shape to 160 pounds. And he's got, he wears a size, he went from wearing a size large shirt that was tight in the bottom to a large shirt where it's tight in the shoulders.
Yeah.
So I love that.
You just turned the pair upside down.
Yeah. That's basically what we did. Yeah.
Very cool. So you do online training too, right?
Yeah, so I have a program called Ladder, or I work with the Ladder team. So they started this app about a year ago, and it's very cool because the team. What sold me on it was the way the platform works, but also the people that they had on board with it. Like all the other trainers, I kind of fangirl over a little bit. They're all like super, dialed into the fitness world. They all have kind of their own little shtick. I knew who all of them were before we started. Like Bobby Maximus is on the app. Rain, he used to be at Dog Pound. He's his Dog Pound trainer, and now he's got his own program on here. So this girl, Lauren Kansky, they're all people I knew from New York or from other backgrounds or other gyms on it, things like that. So I saw them and I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. If you want me to be a part of this team, I was just honored to be asked to even do it. And we get to do this. I get to do these programs each week. I have about 100 people in there now who are consistent, and I love it. It's just so much fun. I've never really thought about doing online programming. And then when the pandemic hit and people were asking me for online stuff, I go, okay, this is what I'll be doing now. So for me, it was exciting. I loved it. And it continues to grow. I'm actually going out there this weekend to shoot some more footage, to put some more workouts into the app. So it's fun. And there's a whole support system behind it. They have secondary coaches who kind of help me out run the program. We have a team of techs who are constantly updating the app. And it's programming. It's not just random workouts. It's not like I put some random shit out there. It's the same way I train my clients in person. So my clients in person, if they're away or they need other programming or they can't make it to the gym, they kind of just supplement it with this.
It's cool to have like that much of a reach. Jeez, 100 people when they're all across the globe too, right? It's not just someone that can show up in person.
Yeah, no, and that's what I wanted. I wanted something to be kind of like all inclusive. Like I wanted them to be able to do a little bit of everything, you know. So whether it's mobility, like a mobility day, and they could bounce around in the workout. Like say they went to a gym, and they stopped at a gym, and they did you know, like an upper body day or something like that. I'm like, okay, do the mobility day this day. And there's a live coaches chat in there as well, so they get to ask me questions, or like, hey, I don't have that piece of equipment, what could I do instead? You know, and I'm on here, and it comes up basically like a text message letting me know, like, oh, hey, so-and-so needs a supplement for that. So it's pretty cool. So you basically have access to me all day long. And some people will text me at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm like, all right, this is a bit much, but, you know. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This was awesome to chat with you on your birthday.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm sorry I've been running around. It's been a crazy day, but no, thank you guys. I love chatting with you guys. You keep me in the loop. Let me know what you guys are doing, and if we could ever link up and do a workout, and hopefully when the world gets back to normal, we can all hang out.
Heck yeah, come out to LA too.
I think Michelob, I was talking to them the other day. I just signed another.
You don't drink anymore, so.
No, I'm eventually gonna go back to drinking. I'll just have to save up for that.
Right, the 10 is all in one sitting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, to let the fitheads know, we met at Michelob Ultra Fit Fest. He was the host. Pretty impressive. So hopefully we get back to doing that.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, no, they said they're hopefully going to have something by the end of the year, like an event of some sorts by the end of the year. Actually, last year before everything locked down, we were planning like 2 huge events. Like they brought me in on the meeting. They were like, "Hey, we want you to help us out with this," and I was so excited about it. And then March hit, and everything got shut down. I was working on that. I was working on like 2 or 3 other things, and it all just got shut down.
Crazy.
But hopefully, we'll get back to normal. Things will get back, and you know, just keep doing what we do.
Yeah, for sure. And let the fitheads know where they can find you online and how to join you on Ladder.
Yeah, so join Ladder but you could just go to my page or the Strong New York page. So it's at strongnewyork.com or at kennysantucci.com. It's right in my kind of my link tree. Everything's there, and I got a lot of discounts to some great brands that I've been working with forever. I'm working with ASICS right now, which is a great brand. Probably one of the best brands, if not the best brand I've ever worked with. I do a lot of cool stuff with them. Michelob, Fit Aid. I'm talking to a couple other new brands, but obviously the most important and the one that's affected me the most in the last 30 days has been Daily Dose Market. So we got a discount code. If you just use my name on the discount code, you get that. But my apparel line, Strong New York. There's no substitute for strength. Cool. Okay? Yeah. We can't fake strong. So yeah, you guys want to check that out. That as well. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah. I appreciate
and thank you. Thanks to the Fitheads. And if you are on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review. That helps us out a lot. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.